Live yet? Okay, we are live. And hey, guys, I'm back again after being gone for 1 month. Just busy doing other stuff and ready to get rolling here with this YouTube channel again. And I'm here with Tino from the Sophisticated Man. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, my man. Thanks for having me back. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it has, man. It's we're just catching up for a bit before the show started, and it seemed like you've been busy doing a lot of things, and I've been busy doing a lot of things. So
Yeah. Yeah, just a lot of running around, a lot of learning, a lot of growing, a lot of action, but it's all good things.
right, awesome. Well, hey, so today, we want to talk to you guys about why you fail when it comes to being women, because a lot of these guys have expectations. They want to become good with women, yet 2 years, 3 years down the road, they're still where they are. They are not having the success they want. They still don't even know how to talk to women or have the confidence to
Oh shit.
be be with her and escalate with her sexually and be
I think
sexual
you
with her.
lost you there.
Oh, really? What we got here is a failure to communicate. Can you hear me again? Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna try. Hope I don't get cut off here. I'm gonna switch over to not Wi-Fi. So today, what we wanted to talk to you guys about is why. Okay, now you're on here again, so I'm gonna remove here. Add the stream. Are you there again?
There we go. Sorry about that. I think I
Okay,
unplugged
yeah, we
my
had some freezes
my
there and
cable by
everything.
accident.
No, you're good. Um, but so what we want to talk to you about today is okay, so most guys want to become good with women, yet they still fail. And probably a year later, they still don't even know how to talk to a woman. They're not even approaching women. They're not even getting the success that they want in their mind, yet they still get frustrated and everything.
Hmm.
So I'm just gonna ask you, and then I'll give you my 10 cents. So why do you think most men will never become good at women, becoming good at talking with women or having success with women, even though they really want it?
Hmm. I think there's a few factors. I would say probably the biggest one is, and I think I just made a video about this, but guys treating it like it's such a impossible feat or just this like insane task to like talk a woman up, get her interested in them, basically putting women on a pedestal, kind of thinking that like, oh my God, like they're so hard to talk to. Like their mindset is basically screwing them up. They think that it's
Hmm.
like, it's impossible. There are so many beautiful girls. Like there's no way they would like me, or just having very lack of experience. And a lot of that mindset comes from just not having a lot of good experiences with women. So I think a lot of the times it's just the guys getting in their own way and
Right.
thinking that it's so much harder than it really is, when honestly, if you just start doing it, you'll notice it's not that bad.
Hmm. Right. No, I agree because I mean, they want to go out there and do it, but yeah, it's just a lack of experience and the negative experiences. One thing that really okay, so I was had some guy come to me at one of my events about a week ago, and he actually wanted me to show him how to become good with talking to women because he was I guess just talking to ladies at the gym and wasn't having any success.
Hmm.
And I asked him, so what did you say? And what he said, I mean, it didn't make any sense. I'm like, yeah, I could definitely help you out.
Mhm.
Um, but he's like, yeah, man, I really love it. I said, are you sure you want to do it? I'm going to force you to break out of your comfort zone and try stuff that you've never done before. And you know why I'm going to do that? Because that is going to help you become successful with women and everything. He's like, okay, cool. I'll do it. I'm really do it. And so I
Mhm.
got the contact information, tried to follow up with him, and no reply. And
Jeez.
I think a lot of that came from just the anxiety, maybe, or just having the idea, the pipe dream, and just
Right.
not wanting to act upon it. And that I think that's where we get lost. So a lot of guys get lost. I've met some people too who, you know, some of my friends who even come to me for help, and when I go to and tell them something from my experience, what you can do to move forward, like it's just they don't want to take the actions because I think it's just they're stuck in their comfort zone,
Mhm.
and I think that's what's keeping them from taking the action, and that's something they got to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say the comfort zone thing is huge because um, that slows a lot of guys down, is just being stuck with what they're familiar with and what they know. Because, the baseline for most guys is they don't ever approach women, or they never pick up on choosing signals. So they just kind of like sit around, be passive. They don't actually actively walk up to a girl and say, like, hey, what's going on? They think that women are just going to like start walking up to them and just like starting conversations, and honestly, you only get to that point when you just have like a higher level of like confidence and
Hmm.
self-belief, and that's a whole other kind of level to it. But yeah, guys are just stuck with with what's comfortable. And I don't think they're willing to like give it a try or push themselves at all. And same thing could be said for like business or success and really anything. Like you're only going to get the results that you're putting in the same amount of effort. So if I'm putting in like basic level effort, I'm probably going to get basic level results. But if I'm like really pushing myself and really trying to go hard, well, I'm going to get better results. So yeah, it comes down to just doing things that maybe you're not comfortable at first, or you're just unaware of, don't know how to do it. Eventually, you're going to learn though, and so you're gonna have to you're going to learn from that hardship.
Right. No, and I agree. I mean, I agree. It is uncomfortable, like to go out there and do something you've never done or have no experience in, and
Hmm.
that's something you got to be willing to deal with. And I think a lot of guys just don't want to deal with that being uncomfortable. They don't,
Yeah.
because the fact that they place the woman on a pedestal that they, want to, they believe that they don't have the result, and that defines who they are. Instead of kind of realizing that it's a process. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah. No, 100%. And like I even knew a guy before who he he wouldn't approach women in person. He would just stick to the dating apps. And like there's nothing wrong with having a good profile and like doing it that way. I mean, that's how I met a lot of girls in the past. It's how I met my girlfriend now, was on a dating app. But some guys just stick to that. And that, like, for them, that's their comfort zone. It's like, oh well, I'm good with this. I don't even have to worry about, you know, approaching women in public or meeting them through mutual friends or whatever else, whatever other method there is. They just stick to what they know. And you can find success that way. I'm not saying that you can't, but just imagine like how much more opportunities and options and like experience you'll gain just from pushing yourself and doing things you're not used to. Like if you've
Mhm.
never cold approached a woman before, just try it out and see how does that affect you as a man and your confidence and your belief in yourself. If it's your first time doing it, you're probably gonna mess up. You're probably gonna look really nervous or just like you don't know what you're doing. But that alone will give you feedback to be like, dang, I really got to work on this. So
Right.
it's the matter of just like doing things that you're not used to, because you never know where that will lead you. You might get better results doing another way, and using another method too.
Mhm. Right, exactly. No, and, that's what I've realized too, like, it's still, like, even when you get good, when you start to get some success in that area, when you do go to your cold approach, I think it's still an ongoing process. Like,
Oh yeah.
you're constantly, like, you never really are truly good. You just keep on working on it to perfect it and everything.
Hmm.
And yeah, I got like, I got put up with, like, I don't want to say rejected, but I didn't, I got a lot of approaches that I had that didn't go too well, but I still kept at it, and it just that, like, I think, like, one of the things you got to do is take the woman out of the equation, not focus on that, because I think that's what
Yeah.
I was doing. I was actually presenting in a webinar the other day, and we were talking about, like, how to be more social, and I mean, that's one of the things, like I mentioned in the webinar. I think a lot of guys focus more on the women, wanting to have the woman because they want the sex. That's what they think.
Hmm.
And that's going to cause them to fuck up and cause them to, like, define themselves if, like, that, if the woman's not interested in him or not, because they're always, because they're focused on the woman rather than just kind of focusing in on the process.
Yeah. That's a really important point, because I think, as weird as it sounds, like you almost want to take her out of the mix. Like, don't even think about the woman in the process and when you're like really in it, like you really just want to focus on yourself. How do you feel? Do you feel confident? Do you feel calm? Do you feel like you're charming? Do you feel like you have a lot to offer? Like that stuff matters. And you're obviously not going to tell this girl, "Hey, I'm feeling really confident right now. Like look at all these things that I have." You're not going to be saying this to her, but it's that internal feeling that you have in yourself that's going to come across in the conversation. So it's really,
Mhm.
as much as you're approaching women, like it's not about them. Like it's about how you show up in that moment, and how you present yourself, how you communicate, your ability to connect. Like it is about you, even though you are talking to another person.
Mhm. Right, I think we forget about that.
Yeah, we do. We definitely do.
And I think when we can just kinda learn to focus on that, like, and make that more of a priority more than just trying to get with the woman, I think that's gonna help motivate us more in the journey and help us take the necessary action that we need and deal with the setbacks that, you guys, have especially when they're trying to get good at this, 'cause I mean, there's not just the communication skills and the art to presenting yourself in front of the woman. It's also an inner thing you gotta figure out for yourself too. Like,
Hmm.
I never bothered to focus on the inner things. I thought, like, just being good with women would bring me the confidence, but I realized I neglected to kind of focus within. And when you focus, I realized when I focused within, I saw a lot of shit that I had to figure out for myself too, and kind of mindsets I had to learn to deal with.
Hmm. Yeah, the inner shift is huge because, like, I'd say that's about half the battle is just feeling good about yourself, feeling confident. And I mean, you know, when you can look at that in yourself and you can look at what you're doing well, what you're not doing well, what you're feeling good about, now you have things that you can start to review. I mean, if you're focused solely on the girl and you're looking at her reactions, you're looking at how she's responding to you, that's a good thing, but it's hard to track because every girl is different, every situation is different. The constant is going to be you. Like you're always going to be in that interaction. So how are you showing up in each one? That's easier to track and easier to measure. And if you can measure those things better, you're only going to get better at your own inner game like you were talking about because you have something that you can now like reflect on. Like every girl is going to be different. It's harder to track your interactions just solely off what girls are doing.
Right, exactly. And like you said, like, because of the fact that they're different too, like they're gonna respond differently to the way you're coming at them.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're gonna respond differently to that vibe. Not like, one of the things you gotta realize too, and like if you want to become good with women, is you gotta realize that not every girl's gonna like you. And you have to be okay with that. And
Mm,
I'm okay with that because I already, I wouldn't have the time with everything I'm doing now just to go on millions of dates. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
I think you gotta have that realization because if you feel like you deserve every girl, like you feel everyone should like you, then if it's gonna cause your ego to overreact, and you're gonna look down upon yourself and get frustrated when you have that thought and mindset.
Yeah, it's like the downfall of the ladies man mindset. You think every girl is gonna like you, every girl's gonna find you charming. Now you might get 60, 70% of girls to like you, but you're never gonna get 100 for 100. You're never gonna get every single girl you'll ever talk to. The truth is there's gonna be women that find you creepy. There's gonna be women that think you're a weirdo or just like strange or just they don't like you. But you're also gonna get a lot of women that naturally think you're charming, that think you're funny, that think you're cute, handsome, that
Right.
like you make them feel positive emotions. So yeah, it's a numbers game, truly. And I think once you get enough reps under your belt and you realize that every situation is different, everything is a case by case, and don't get so wrapped up in the outcome. A lot of guys do that too, where they're talking to a girl and they're like so set on I have to get the phone number or I have to get her to kiss me. I have to get her to hang out with me later on. Like just be in the moment, just be present and just, go with what feels right there.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and just be okay with girls not liking you.
Yeah, and you can't be responsible for how like a girl's gonna act, towards you and stuff. I mean, you
Exactly.
have the like discipline to know when a girl's not interested, and if she's not interested, just go away. Like if a girl thinks you're this and that just because of the way you're coming off, like you can't let that affect you. And the problem I always used to have during my interactions. I'm like, God,
Mhm.
what the fuck did I do? And you
Yeah,
got to let go of that because really, that's the negative judgment that you have upon yourself. You know,
100%.
and you got to just have the discipline to like deal with that and just be okay with that. And a lot of people like I've come across, I talk to some guys, they get really frustrated about that. And I just have to reiterate to them, not everyone's going to like you. You just go out there, be your best, and eventually the more approaches you do, eventually you're going to find someone. And like I said earlier, like if you want to become good at this, and why most guys will fail is because they never take the action to, and go out there and go through the process of becoming
Mhm. Yeah, it truly just comes down to taking action and just seeing it for yourself. I mean, we can sit here and talk about it all day long, and we could talk about our experiences, we could talk about some good methods and strategies, but until you go out and battle test it yourself and really get that real world experience, um, you're not going to start to see what is working for you and what isn't. And I see this. I look at the same thing for business. Like, they're so funny how like ga gaming and, like, talking to women is, like, very similar to business. I mean, the same thing can be applied. Like, I could reach out to 50 people and try to sign on a new client, but I'm not gonna get all 50 as a client. That's just the reality. Obviously, I
good.
can increase my skills. I can increase my outreach skills of, like, messaging the right way, learning how to communicate better, and probably up that number, but I'm never gonna hit 100%, for anything. So, it's just
Hmm.
a matter of just working with the people that are and the women that are receptive to you and they like you and they find you uh, amusing. They dig your vibe, you dig their vibe. So once you get good at this stuff, you'll start to pick up on these women that are genuinely interested in you, which is easy to tell once you know what you're looking for.
Hmm. Right. And it's always the ones that you vibe with. I noticed that, yeah, you have the best experiences with, not just like
Yeah.
sexually, but just being around them. And
Hmm.
that's always a good thing. And I mean, yeah, you might want. I mean, we all want that super sexy girl, but that sexy girl is just like has a mean attitude towards you, and the vibe's not there. It's not going to be as fun as if you're with like an authentic type of girl. You know what I'm saying? Who you can naturally vibe with.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, this one is something that I think gets guys a lot of, it gets guys into a lot of trouble is they solely go after women with just the looks, and that's what they base everything off of. And look, like, I understand it too. We all want a good looking woman. We're visually stimulated by them, so like we want something good to look at, clearly. But if that's the only thing that this girl has, and she has a bad attitude, bad mindset, she's just like using you and she's just like not a good person to be around, I mean, you're going to be miserable and it's really not worth it. So
Hmm.
what we're saying too is not to like, just lower the standards, like, oh, just go date an ugly girl because she's a good person. Like, that's not what we're saying either. It's just like date a girl that you find attractive or like go after women that you find attractive, but like don't put her looks as like the number one thing that keeps you around. I mean, like don't be impressed by that stuff because
Hmm.
again, there's a lot of things that makeup and all the stuff and cosmetics that girls use that can make them look a lot better than what they really look like. So don't put that stuff above like personality, vibe, and or any of those other things.
Right. Exactly. I know. And once you realize that women are human too, like I mean,
Exactly.
because like I said, I had this problem. Like going back to placing women on a pedestal. You like look at them like goddesses. You got to
Yeah.
worship them. And once you can learn to have that shift in your mindset to just be like, well, they're human too. They eat, they shit, they
Legit.
pee. Like a lot of guys don't realize that because they're just so enthralled by the beauty because they know how to like do that with the makeup and everything. To capture their attention. That they forget to see that woman's a person too.
Hmm. Yeah, we lose sight of that because we think, "Oh my god, like she's wearing this really high top, like nice shirt, like like her skirt's up high, like she has really nice boobs," and like you just like forget that, "Oh my god, this girl could be a psychopath if I'm not careful." Like I got to know what she's like besides just physically because I've met plenty of physically beautiful women, and when you talk to them, it's like I would rather paint a wall for 10 hours than talk to her because she was so boring. So it's like, the looks aren't everything. They matter, but you also got to pay attention to the vibe and how she makes you feel when you're around her. Is she a good person?
Mhm. Right. No, that's important. I think, I think, on a later show, we should talk about, having the right vibe around women and everything. I think that would be a
Yeah,
good topic to discuss.
that's another one too. Yeah,
Yeah. We're just brainstorming as we do these shows. That's how we always work it.
yeah, it's a
But,
good one.
no, that's true. And, like, yeah, I mean, you just gotta, like, I mean, you guys can just go out there and just go in there with that attitude and that mindset. I mean, it will help you it will put your fear at ease, and that's what you
Mhm.
gotta realize. You can just learn to kind of look at that woman as just a person and not like a sex object. I know that's harder. No, I'm not saying don't do it, but if you can try and just find a balance, I mean, you can take that woman off the pedestal even more. I mean, you should feel more at ease. And again, this will happen naturally if you go out there and practice that. Again, if you don't
Mhm.
do nothing, then you're not going to be good with women. And this will help you build your confidence. And you can just kind of go out there and just kind of learn to have a connection with a woman and try to see if there's something more to her than her looks. That you know what, and I guess if you still want to fuck her, you could still have, even though if you guys, if it works for you guys, like, you're able to want to fuck, you can kind of have a few fucks, and hey, if you find someone else who you have a connection with, maybe have that person as a long term type of dating type of situation, casual type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, you gotta know what you want, and I think it comes down to that too. If you're in a place of your life where you want something deeper, something more long term, then like go into dating with that mindset. If you're dating right now and you want to be single, you want to find out more of what you like, what you don't like, you want to find out more about yourself, go into it with that mindset. But don't ever let somebody like tell you what you want or convince you that no, you need a girlfriend right now or you need to stay single, like whatever. Like do what you feel is right for yourself and your moment and where you're at in your maturity and your development as a man. I mean, everybody wants different things. Like, I'm in a relationship right now, but somebody else might be like, oh, well, I just want to stay single right now, figure out myself. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to know what it is that you're looking for. Um, and be selective. Like this is very key. Like just be very, very selective with who you spend your time with. Like don't just give it out to anybody just because she has a pretty face, and she wears really nice tight clothing. Like make sure that if you're giving her your attention and you're giving her your focus and time, that is somebody worth giving to. So be hard to impress is what I'm saying. Like don't just be like, holy shit, she looks good. Oh my god, like bro, so, like there's millions of girls that look good. Make sure that there's more than just that reels you in.
Hmm. Right. No, that's true. Yeah, because that's it's really common out there.
Yeah, very.
But, no, but I mean, there you go, guys. And like I said, try to kind of see if you can, look for more behind the beauty. Because I think when you do that, it puts like I said, it puts your anxiety at ease, and it kind of helps take the woman off the pedestal and everything. And you're
Hmm.
the one who's like in charge, not her.
Yeah, yeah, that's key. Because if they know that you're like just like mesmerized by her, a lot of times, not saying all women do this, but a lot of these young women, if you are just like gawking over her and she sees that, she feels that, she's gonna take advantage of it. She's gonna make you think that she's gonna wrap you around her finger because she knows it. Like, oh my god, you'll do anything that she wants just because she's so pretty, and you're mindlessly talking to her, and you'll just kind of like do whatever she wants. So don't give her that power. Take that power back. Like, I'm not saying to be a dick because guys confuse that with being an asshole and being like, oh, impress me, like show me things about yourself. It's like you're not telling her this. You're just thinking it. That's just the mindset of like, all right, you're pretty, but what else? What else do you
Hmm.
have? Do you have a good like, how do you make me feel? Do you have a good, attitude? Do you have a good personality? Like, show me something. Um,
Right.
so it just helps.
No, that's good. Well, I know we don't have too long to do a show today because you got stuff going on, but I wanted to ask you something. So before we end the show, what do you think are two things that men need to do today to help them overcome the struggle of not becoming good with women? What would you recommend to the guys out there who are just like saying they want to do it, but or they have the ideas? And what would you say to them?
Yeah. Two things I would say. Number one, just have well, first and foremost, have some type of foundation that like for you as a man. Like don't make women like the number one focus priority in your life. I know that kind of sounds like counterintuitive, but have something else you're doing. Like obviously Rob and I have brands, we have content, we have businesses we're building. Have something else. Maybe go to the gym, have a focus on like if you're into building like toy plane replicas or some shit, like find something to do besides just focusing on women. Because even if things don't go well because they eventually won't for you, you're not as hurt, you're not as beat up. You're just like, well, I still have my mission, or I still have my goals, I still have my purpose. So that is always something that I think comes
Mhm.
with
Yeah, I
like
agree with you on that.
just
That's
having
always
women.
like helped me get through this journey is the fact that I have
Yeah,
a couple other things I'm focusing on because it really doesn't, I don't have one priority. I have a few other priorities too.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that's always the foundation, is having that baseline. And then number two, I'd say, is just to learn to be social with everybody. Obviously, if women is an area of your life that you're struggling with, we can focus on that. But just learn to be social with any and everyone, because the more comfortable you are meeting just a random stranger and just striking up a conversation, having fun with it, learning how to just basically create a conversation out of thin air, which is literally like, I'm telling you right now, nobody knows how to do this anymore. It is a lost art. Most people are buried in their phones, or they're just stuck to people that they know. They're not willing to go out and meet people. So just simply doing that is going to increase your confidence and increase your
Hmm.
communication skills. So when you eventually do find a woman that you think is attractive, you want to meet, you're already warmed up to it. You're used to it. So that won't be much of an issue.
Right, exactly. No, and those are very good. And I believe, like, yeah, to get started on those, like, you got to take responsibility for yourself to go out there and actually do it and break out of your comfort zone. 'Cause I believe that is very important. He just gave you some golden advice, and I'm going to recommend it because I would say the same thing.
Mm,
But yeah, like I said, if you're not going to get done, if you're not going to willing to take the action, if you're just going to take the information, just sit around, or just not do anything and complain about this and that, then that you're going to be stuck in the same place. So you go
right.
up there, get off your butt, and do it. Just try. If you're, if you're having a hard time breaking out of your comfort zone, do one thing that it will help you to break out of your comfort zone that is small, and then build from there. But don't let your anxiety, don't let other people, don't let anyone like hold you back from achieving what it is you want to do, even yourself.
Agreed. That last part is very true. Even yourself.
Because I mean, I get guilty. I'm guilty of doing that sometimes, but I have to give
Hmm.
myself a kick in the ass, or in the mindset ass, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, just to kind of say, "Hey,
Hmm.
man, we're not like this." Don't listen to your thoughts.
Hmm.
Because I mean, but if you can learn how to have discipline to deal with that, and yet, certain, even when you get good at this shit still comes back and haunts you, and you got to just remind yourself. But you just got to have the discipline to go out there and make it happen. Because if you don't have the discipline to go out there and make it happen, you're going to be stuck, and you're not going to move forward anywhere in your life, and you're just going to be complaining. I just turned 40 this year, not too, about a month ago. So I
Hey.
realized too, like I had a friend tell me, like, "Hey man, you live it all up now because you're 40. You don't." Even though I still have a lot, I'm not dying anytime soon. It's kind of, I look at that like, oh shit, man, I'm 40. I better do what I want to do because before you know it, I'll be like 80 or in my grave.
Hmm. Yeah, you don't want to live with regret. So that's something that should get guys scared, and well, not scared, but just motivated to like start achieving the things that they want. Because like we're not around forever. That's just the truth of life. Is like we're all gonna die one day. So while we're here, let's make the most of the time that we do have.
Right, exactly. Well, before we leave here, just tell everyone where they can find you and everything.
Yeah, guys, if you wanna, search me up on YouTube, just search The Sophisticated Man. My page should come up. Same thing for Instagram, if you wanna search that or just my name, Tino_Regano, I should pop up.
Okay, cool, man. Well, thank you very much for coming on. Are you able to do another show 2 weeks from now, you think?
Probably. I think
Okay,
so.
cool.
I'll get
It's
back to you
before
on the
Labor Day
schedule.
weekend.
Yeah, yeah. I'll let you know about the schedule. I should be, but, we'll talk just to confirm.
Yeah, we'll figure that out later, man. Well, thank you very much, and guys, I hope you all like the channel. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, go to my website, Command Your Confidence. I got some coaching there. I got ebook for sale. I also will put that in the description later, and I will catch you next time. Peace, mothers.